What's up, my EquinEdge crew? Justin here. We're gonna do something a little bit different in a new segment called EquinEdge Tips and Tricks. For users of the tool, want to just cover some of the algorithms and how I go about using them when handicapping. And so, gonna cover the EquinEdge morning line and SoR and GSR, and we're gonna look at the Adequin California Regional Derby last night from Los Alamitos. Was the 8th race for 3-year-olds, 400 yards. And, you know, I looked at this race and decided to play a vertical. I'll share, that is what I played last night. You'll see I really keyed the 3 on top over the 1 and 4. And just kind of hammered away on the WinVet and Exacta, and there's a try in there as well. So wanted to walk through this, share with everybody. Feel free to email me, Justin at EquinEdge, questions, comments. You can leave them in YouTube. Help hit the like button. Let's dive in. So, when I looked at this race, it was interesting. I saw the 3-horse was his top Scotty pick in 55%. So 2 different algorithms there. But where I wanted to focus was the EquinEdge morning line and how I use it. And for me, I toggle back and forth here. And what I saw was EquinEdge had the 3 at even money 1-1 and had the 6-horse at 7-2, which was interesting, which was completely the opposite for the track morning line, which had the 3 at 7-2 and the 6 at even money. And immediately there, I'm like, whoa, I need to look at this rather quickly. So, from an SOR perspective, another algorithm I wanted to cover, the 3 has not run at 400 yards, where the 6 had run 3 times with an average 61 SOR. So I dove into the 3 a little bit here, and I looked, and the first thing I saw was, wow, she has been running in a far classier field. Is coming off a year layoff. So I looked here and I said, I don't remember her. I do follow Los Al, and I said, wow, look at this futurity trial. Ran in a 58 SOR. Again, SOR stands for strength of race. And I love the comment line here, just blew him away. And then she came back and ran in the kindergarten futurity as a 2-year-old in a 78 SOR. And just missed, which I'm like, wow, she is one classy filly. And so then I looked at the 6 and I said, okay, let's look at the 6's SOR. And had just run in a 62 SOR and just missed, finished 3rd, but that was at 330 yards. And I said, has he run at 400 yards? And you get down here and you say, okay, yes, he has. He ran back here in a 64, finished well, second best, got second, ran at 440 yards here at a 58 and finished 3rd, and then 400 yards and 400 yards and a 58 and a 54 and ran a 4th and 5th. And I looked at that and I'm like, wow, yes, obviously could improve here, but has not been running well at 400 yards. I also noticed, from an SOR perspective, had a 46 to break his maiden, which again, looking at the 3 here, broke her maiden in a 58 and ran just a monster in kindergarten futurity. So I really looked at this and I said, this 6-horse, does the 6 want to go 400 yards? And does the 3? So we used another algorithm here, the GSR. And we'll talk about the 4 in a second in the 1. But I said, wow, maybe the 6 doesn't want to go 400 yards here. I mean, has tried it 3 times and also went 440 yards and just has not been performing. And I looked at the 3 here. GSR Plus allows you to kind of see overall. You sort there, what's the top GSR? And with the 3, you see, wow, 400 yards. So for me, that told me that she probably will be okay at 400 yards. And again, looking at this from a SOR perspective, strength of race, from a GSR genetic strength rating, and a morning line perspective, I just loved the 3. I mean, it was, this is what I call a false favorite in the 6. And Brady and I talk about that sometimes on EquinEdge Action Hour. And so for me, I immediately was keying the 3. So I decided to use the ticket generator, and I would place some win bets, as you saw. And I said, okay, well, what am I going to do for verticals? I just said a couple, $2 here. What to tell me? And it told me the 3 over the 4-6. And so, I really was questioning the 6, and I wanted to get value. And you'll see here, my value was in the 1 and 4. I'm not going to make this video really long. I want to make sure it's useful for people to watch and keep around, 5 to 8 minutes. And, but I want to walk through the 4, and the 1, was Scotty long shot and price play. If we use some of the same handicapping angles from a morning line perspective, the track was at 12-1 and that EquinEdge morning line was 5-1. Again, I had already was keying the 3 on top, but who am I going to put underneath here? Scotty long shot up here, another algorithm price play, and the 1 I was using just from the perspective of a lot of angles here from underneath. And I thought the 6 was very, very vulnerable. So, the key thing here though is the ticket generator, which I try to use more lately, was giving me the 4. And I said, okay, let's look at this 4 here. Okay, well, running in a great SoR perspective, much better than the 6 overall. And, overall at 400 yards, I mean, a dash of sign was running in some classy fields here. So morning line perspective, system at 7-1 versus 8-1. But dove in here and I said, okay, she's ran at 400 yards as well. And we look back here and she ran in a 72. Pinballed at the start. I mean, no chance here. I didn't even watch the race, but I said, okay, well, forgive that. And I go back to these 2 400-yard efforts here in a 66 and a 68. And, ran a very respectable 3rd here after breaking through the gate in a good try, and ran a very respectable 4th here in a 66 and a 68. And when we talk about the 6 again, going back here, was running in 58s and 54s and just not getting it done. And here did run in a 64. I mean, you could question there, and was a massive odds. And then, again, my big question here was would he like the distance? And you could try to argue here, maybe he would. For me, I was really questioning it. And I was questioning the class from an SoR perspective. Breaks his maiden at a 46, does win a 50 and a 54. But this is a big step up here. The system doesn't have the race SoR. I'm going to talk to the crew about getting that for after the race. But if you go back here, it was a 68. So when you look at that and you say, wow, this is a 68, the 4 really fit for me. A 68 and a 66, finishing a respectable 3rd and 4th with trouble. And again, from a GSR perspective, really wants 400 yards here. And for me, yes, was 2% to win, but this horse had a massive chance to come underneath, where I really was questioning the 6. So I already knew I was keying the 3 on top. Ticket generator gave me the 4 and 6 underneath. I was all about keying the 3 with the 4. You do see I had to add the 1 in there. It just had some of the same angles there, and then it was giving me Scotty long shot and price play, and why was the 4 not the Scotty long shot, and had me questioning myself a little bit. So played, I wish I would have played a little more cold 3-4, but it all worked out. And I just wanted to share that with all viewers. Again, feel free to email Justin at EquinEdge, Twitter at Justin Sampson. Just want to share how I use the tool, some of the angles. Next time I'll try to cut this down a few minutes. We're going to run about 10 minutes here. I hope you guys like it. Please give feedback, questions, comments. I'll try to do more of these as I use the tool, and I hope that was helpful. Have a good week.